Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. The time has finally come at the time of this recording, just over 24 hours away from kickoff of the 2023 NFL season between the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs and arguably one of the hottest topics in football, the Detroit Lions. It is time for fantasy football. It is time for everything to be broken down. Myself, Josh, and Ryan are back after a full month of Women of Fantasy Football. Thank you to all of you that tuned in, donated, and hey, maybe you won a jersey while you were there as well. Thank you to everybody. But now it is time for the NFL season, the reason why we all do this. Let's get into it. Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I am your host, Joe Zollo. As always, Joshua Hudson, Ryan Weisse. Gentlemen, hello. Welcome back.
We back, baby.
We back.
Let's go! So excited.
It's about time. Now, I'm disappointed none of you said anything about my mini caption in the pre-show.
Oh, I saw at the moment that you went single box, and I was just kind of like, all right, I got to find this underdog prop real quick, but that's damn funny.
I don't talk about this Kelsey injury.
Hey, also involves Cooper Kupp. So,
fair.
Yeah,
I thought his was a hamstring.
It's close enough. It's at the leg.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Joe.
It's close enough.
Close enough. That's how injuries work.
Yeah. Everyone already in here. Gators ready. Scampers here. Elixirs. Hello. Been waiting for a while. Well, we're happy that you're here. And Caesar, he thought I started an OnlyFans, apparently. I have. If you'd like to go subscribe, that would be great. I need another revenue stream. Just DM me separately on Twitter. We'll talk later. Okay. News and notes. Obviously, the biggest one heading into week one. Travis Kelce in what is presumed a walkthrough on a Tuesday game because they play Thursday. He hyperextends his knee. There's no way they were practicing too hard on Tuesday because, well, they played. That's basically like a Friday practice for NFL teams. Friday, light walkthrough. Saturdays, you're going through playbook stuff. Sunday game. How he hyperextended his knee is beyond me. There's been a few different things that happened, but questionable for the season opener. Offensive tackle Riley Reef for the New England Patriots goes to IR. Why this matters is because they still have now a worse left tackle, and Trent Brown might even slide over that way as well. It's going to be a shit show this week against the Eagles. They activate Farrell Brown because they're probably going to run a 3 tight end set because they don't have an offensive line. There you go. Daniel Jones restructured his contract. Why this is big? Obviously, if you're looking to sign Saquon Barkley, $6 million in cap space, extend him out over a year, et cetera, et cetera. Kadarius Toney is a go. According to Andy Reid, that is obviously a big plus for them, losing Travis Kelce, presumably. Nick Bosa earlier today signs the largest deal for a defensive player in NFL history, 5 years, $170 million.
It's a good thing they're not paying a quarterback any significant money because
that's how you can do shit like this.
I mean, still, it's ridiculous. They are going to have so many cap problems so fast.
Here's the thing. The cap is fake, and it doesn't matter.
We know this.
Well, the cap's fake, and they're going to have Purdy on this contract for what? 2 more years, unless he balls out and gets real pissed in a year. So
yeah, I mean, 3 years, including this season. So. Yeah. But 5 years, $170 million, $122 million, and it waives all fines. So if he gets fined, I believe the team pays for the fines.
No, I think that was waiving the fines for sitting out.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, I was confused on that one. But why this matters to you, if you have Najee Harris, he went from 3 yards a carry to 1.5 this week. So that's why it matters to you. Congratulations. Nick Bosa will have a field day against that bottom 5 offensive line, or excuse of an offensive line that Pittsburgh trots out there week after week, year after year. Cooper Kupp ruled out week 1. Sean McVay said the other day he's day-to-day, and then came out today and said not ruling out the possibility of IR. If there's the queen of coach speak, it is Sean McVay. Who knows what's going to happen with Kupp?
Well, it's got to be a queen of coach speak.
Oh, I don't know. He feels like a queen. Doesn't feel like a king. McVay just kind of feels like a queen. He dresses way too nice. He looks way too good.
I think the issue with putting Kupp on IR is McVay's playing with house money. Like he knows he's likely not back next year. Like, why put him on IR?
Also, your team sucks this year.
Yeah.
So put him on IR and
I go the other way with it. Like he's 30. What are you protecting him for? So, I don't know.
I mean, he still probably has 3 years in him.
I agree, but McVay don't care. I don't know. I just don't think McVay. Yeah.
But Kupp could also say for his health that
That's
not fair.
Playing.
So
yeah.
And the last one, Saints rookie Jake Haener, I believe like less than 2 hours ago, was just suspended 6 games for PEDs. So really,
we saw those rookie pictures. We knew he was on something.
Welcome.
I didn't think it was PEDs though, but
welcome to the NFL, Jake Haener. You're doing it just like the pros. Good job.
Right.
6 games, PED. Elixirs, there's a team in his league that's got Kupp, McLaurin, JSN, and traded for Kelsey. That feels rough.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel good.
JSN's back.
Yeah, hey,
that's crazy considering wrist surgery. Like that's wild to me.
How about this? I heard my buddy text me today. He asked me who would rather, Derrick Henry or Davante Adams. I said I'd rather Davante Adams, but I feel like it's a fairly even trade on both sides. It's PPR, so you assume Davante Adams is going to get peppered. That's why I went Adams. He apparently trades away Derrick Henry. He now has Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor on the same team.
Ooh. And
his starting running backs are Kenneth Walker and Javonte Williams. So he's starting off the season real hot.
He's gambling.
Yeah. Gambling or just straight up bad, actually, is really what it is. Okay. Upsides. Wow. What's it been? 8 months since we've done this?
Holy shit.
Yeah. Crazy. All right, Josh. Calvin Ridley, top 5 in Indianapolis. Jordan Love, top 12 quarterback in Chicago. J.K. Dobbins, top 8 against Houston. I don't think the Calvin Ridley one is out in left field. Indy could vie for the number one.
I have something I want to go through with this one.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So think about all of the notable wide receivers over the last 3 years that have switched teams in the offseason and then come out into their first game. Just look at last year, right? A.J. Brown, debut against Detroit, 13 targets, 10 catches, 155 yards. A couple of years before that, DeAndre Hopkins in Arizona, 16 targets, 14 receptions, 151 yards. Stephon Diggs, same year in Buffalo, 9 targets, 8 for 86. Antonio Brown in 2019, when he went from Oakland, New England, only played the one game there, 24 snaps he played, saw 8 targets, 4 catches, 56 and a touchdown. Here's my favorite one, though. Hang on. Here's my favorite one. Deshaun Jackson. Philly traded a 7th-round pick to Tampa Bay to bring him home. Played 3 games all that year. His very first game, back with the team, 9 targets, 8 catches, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Are you forgetting Devontae Adams last year, 10 for a Bill 41 and a touchdown?
I probably did, yeah.
I
completely forgot that one.
Can you tell me Devontae Parker's first game statistics with the New England Patriots? Can you assure me Juju Smith-Schuster will have a good week?
Considering the Super Bowl back and forth between Juju and the Eagles secondary and the whole Valentine's Day card with James Bradbury and the holding and all that, Juju's going to be lucky to make it off the field.
Can I also request Marquez Valdez-Scantling statistics in his first game in Kansas City? So if we're just cherry picking here, no, you're right. Calvin.
But again, we're talking about good wide receivers here.
It's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Excuse me, you dickhead.
But more to the point, outside of Kenny Moore, who the hell does Indianapolis have in that secondary to come?
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. That team could be rough.
Shaq Leonard will be playing cornerback.
Yeah.
Kwity Paye is playing safety.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you. I literally don't know anybody in their secondary outside of Kenny Moore. No, Calvin really set up for a very good week. The one that surprised me was J.K. Dobbins because I avoided him like the Black Plague in every single draft. Why do you like? I mean, Houston sucks, but still.
Well, I was going to say, I'm going to let Josh plead his case, but I'm just going to throw out there. I'm the same as you, Joe. I've been super down on Dobbins. Like, couldn't understand people being in love with him, but I'm certainly in love with him this week. So Josh can go in.
And that's really what it boils down to. I mean, Houston, yes, I understand they have a new play caller, but a new defensive head coach. Most of that personnel is still kind of the same. Like, yeah, you have Denzel Perriman there in the middle, and he typically is a good run defender. But that defensive line outside of a rookie in Will Anderson isn't all that. Like, Sheldon Rankins has bounced around to a couple teams. Like, there's not really anything going here. And just looking at from week 12 through the end of last season, they gave up the most fantasy points to running backs and averaged over 5.1 yards per carry allowed. What did J.K. Dobbins do when he finally came back off of the injury list over the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season? He averaged 6.2 yards per carry. And now you're talking about a system that is going to be spreading the offense out, creating even more running lanes with mismatches. This is set up for J.K. Dobbins to have 150 yards on 8 carries today or Sunday. I'm all about it. I'm on board.
Fair. Okay. Ryan, I hate that the 2 touchdown special is back.
Oh, it's every week now, and I'm tracking it. So
are you tracking? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if it doesn't happen this week, I need you to. I literally own a share of Bijan Robinson in every fucking league because I had the middle round pick, and that's he was there.
Yeah.
You cursed him against a terrible defense this week. Bijan Robinson, 2 touchdown special for Ryan this week. So if you have Bijan, sit him. I was seriously contemplating sitting him this week because of Ryan's curse. The other ones, Antonio Gibson, top 20 against, I was mistaken. Arizona will be the worst team this year.
Oh, yeah.
Arizona will be the worst team.
I love this cat and mouse game that Jonathan Gannon is clearly playing at quarterback. You're not getting any type of advantage when the one quarterback you have to start is either Josh Dobbs or Clayton Tune. I'm sorry.
Did you see his hype speech for his...
What hype speech?
Listen.
The only thing that hyped me up for was a nap.
What that felt like was if you ever worked in a grocery store like I did when I was younger, when the manager, after the end of your shift, at the end of the night, you were closing, they give a little speech at the end of the day. That's what it felt like. Nobody wanted to be there, and we all hated it. We all hated our lives. That's what that felt like.
It reminded me of Superstore. If you guys have watched that show,
yes,
he was Glenn.
Yeah, and then your other one, both quarterbacks, Tua and Justin Herbert, plus Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Keenan Allen, and Mike Williams. That is.
I was going to say, I was going to need some reference there because you did not specify which 4 wide receivers.
I knew.
So I'm all right, this is going to be Ryan's out when it's Josh.
No. I mean the 4 guys that were highly drafted in fantasy football.
Josh Palmer. No, all 4 receivers and both quarterbacks will finish inside the top 12 at their respective positions in the Miami.
Means, right? It's going to be it's a Quentin Johnston day just because of that. Because of that.
That's fair.
It's a Josh Palmer day. All right.
You look at their game last year.
Keenan Allen will go out with a hammy. Mike Williams will just
don't
bitch
say
out
that.
And not want to play.
Let's just stop with the Keenan Allen injury talk already.
You already cursed Bijan Robinson. Go fuck yourself, okay? There's no... So rude. Absolutely so rude. I feel like the interesting one is... Actually, none of them... I mean, they're pretty straight up. The Miami Chargers game last year was a shootout.
It wasn't, actually. It was 23-17, but...
There was a lot of yardage.
I want to say I made my prediction before I went and looked at the game, and I was hoping that my findings would prove my prediction. Both quarterbacks, Herbert was top 10, Tua was a touchdown away, and 3 of the 4 wide receivers were all top 10 in this game, even though it was only 23-17. The one who missed was Jalen Waddle, not Mike Williams. So, even with it not being a shootout, the yardage was there, and then I'm expecting more points this year.
Yeah, and Miami without Jalen Ramsey is even worse at corner.
Exactly. Well, I mean, honestly,
Miami with Jalen Ramsey would be actually better for Mike Williams, but sure. There you got to be. Eli Apple's a Dolphin now. That's tough.
Yeah.
Wow. I was. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little worried about Miami's defense going into the season as a Patriots fan. Outside of Christian Wilkins, they're a pile of shit, actually.
I did the
They're
same
terrible.
thing, Joe, when I was doing my projections. I started off with really high on them, and then they got very, very mediocre.
Their secondary is Xavier Howard, who gets cooked.
Javon Holland is good.
Congratulations, you have one, and he's a free safety.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna make the tackle when the corners let the.
No, I know that. I'm just saying, like they do have.
Hold on. You know what? Let's give the safeties benefit of the doubt. Brandon Jones, okay, right? Let's not even focus on safeties. Eli Apple, Cater Kahoo. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Kelvin Joseph, Perry Nickerson, Justin Bethel. Justin Bethel couldn't be in the secondary on the Patriots. That's how bad he was. We have Miles Bryant. He couldn't beat out Miles Bryant. That secondary's trash. Christian Wilkins may be carrying that team on his back. I take that back. Jalen Phillips is also very good. I like Jalen Phillips. But
damn good.
Outside of their pass rush, holy God, they're bad. All right. My upsides. Commanders top 5 defense against Arizona. I'll let Ryan talk about this when it happens, but I was because I normally just stream defenses now at this point.
I was insane.
They were available on so many of my waivers.
So
time out. If you're drafting a defense, right? You're drafting a defense in your drafts. Unless you're taking like the Niners or like the Niners are probably the only defense that's like the pinnacle. You're probably starting them every week.
Yeah.
There's very few you're starting every week. The Niners are one. I really can't think of another that I wouldn't be, thinking
Jets
about switching
Eagles.
in.
I'll say the Eagles are close if you believe that all the young guys are going to step up into the roles.
Yes, exactly. I would agree with that. The Eagles are close, but I don't think they're there yet. The Niners are pretty much a lock. They're a fantastic defense. The fact that people were just letting the Commanders just not be drafted, and they're playing the worst team in the NFL, that blows my mind.
Yeah. So I practice what I preach. I don't draft defenses. I stream them everywhere. In every league where I do this, I was able to go grab the Commanders.
That's unbelievable. Let's get this straight. They don't have a bad defense.
No, they don't.
They actually, what's funny is without Chase Young last year, they still played up into the top 12, top 11, I think, overall fantasy defenses. They played their way up, missing pieces, and presumably healthy and better this year.
What they're going to do, they're not flashy. They're not creating a lot of turnovers. That their defense is not built to do that. Their defense is built to basically hold you to 17 points, and their offense is built to score 21. That is what Ron Rivera has built his team around. But they have flashes of Daron Payne shooting the middle, Montez Sweat on the outside. All these guys that can make big plays, and they added into the secondary as well. So they should have a 5-sack, potentially 5 turnover day against this horseshit Arizona Cardinals team. Jordan Addison top 20 against Tampa Bay. What a bad secondary they have.
Yeah.
And Brandin Cooks top 20 against the Giants. I'll talk about Cooks because I got him in every league. I still don't understand how he was falling into like the 12th and 13 rounds of my draft. He is the number 2 receiver on the team that is probably going to throw the most of any team in the league.
Jesus Christ. Josh has you drinking this Kool-Aid now too. They are not going to throw the ball the most in the league. They're not even going to be top.
Well, they're not going to run it 500 times.
They can't run it 500 times. They don't
not
have
with
the
that.
manpower.
No, absolutely not. They're throwing the football.
They're not.
They're throwing the football.
All right. Hey, regardless, Brandin Cook is going to have 150 targets this year. So
I'm great with Brandin Cooks. Yeah.
Yeah. I like Brandin Cooks a lot. Now, here's a question that I'll bring up for our first start sit. This is an interesting league my dad started this year because he was tired of the BS in his other league. You are not required to start a tight end in this league. So I did not draft a tight end.
Oh, man, this is like right up Austin's alley.
Austin Amendola.
It's quarterback in 5 flex options, running back, receiver, or tight end. You can choose to start 5 running backs, 5 receivers, or 5 tight ends if you decide to do that. And then you have defensive line, linebacker, DB, and 2 IDP flexes. I currently have Cooks on my bench, and I don't feel good about it. But would you start Brandin Cooks over any of these guys? Travis Etienne in Indianapolis, DJ Moore against Green Bay, Chris Olave against Tennessee, Bijan Robinson against Carolina, Amon-Ra St. Brown in Kansas City. Are you starting Brandin Cooks over any of those guys? Because I don't think I am.
I don't think you can.
I'm good. So
definitely not Amon-Ra. Definitely not Bijan. The only one I would consider would be DJ Moore.
I'm sorry. What is your week 1 teams when they switch to a new team thing?
Okay, look at the quarterbacks.
That doesn't count. Okay.
You're the one that says they don't have a quarterback at quarterback. They have a running back. So
yeah, they don't.
So unless DJ Moore is running for 90 yards, I don't think it's happening.
But if he's
he literally ran for 90 yards on his first touchdown as a Bear.
He actually what happened was he actually ran 64 because Justin Fields put the ball behind him. Justin Fields' air yards in that game was -2. So I'm just saying you brought up that.
And Jair Alexander over everybody on the Colts. So
DJ Moore is open on 99% of the routes that he runs. So we're good. Jair Alexander's hot and cold as well himself. All right. 1 start sit as well. Elixirs, Jahan Dotson, Christian Watson, DJ Moore. And a standard, Justin Fields is a quarterback. So this is a standard. We need to sit one of them. I mean, this question might be answered for you. Watson popped up on the injury report. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, hamstring injury.
But I would sit Dotson.
I wouldn't. That's the guy that I want playing.
In all honesty, I'd probably sit Watson just with the injuries.
I like the double points for DJ Moore. So
yeah, and then in a standard league, DJ Moore, you're not so much worried about the reception total. You're worried about the yards after catch and what he could do. So I'm good with DJ Moore, where Watson might be more of a volume play against this Bears defense. Dotson's the wild card because McLaurin's playing, it looks like anyway.
If McLaurin's not playing, then I would agree with you. Dotson's the start.
Because the issue
I think even if he plays, I'm still rolling Dotson. I think that connection between him and Howell is so damn good. And Dotson scored, 8 touchdowns last year in 11 games or something.
They
Same
just
thing
might
with
be
Watson.
done. They might be done throwing at halftime, maybe halfway through the second quarter.
They could be up 42-0. I don't know. Sit Watson. How about that? Sit Christian Watson. There you go.
It's my old rule from last year. I don't fuck with questionable guys. So I'm going to sit if there's an injured player. I'm sitting them. So.
There you go. All right. From through EX, James Conner or Michael Thomas in the flex.
This is rough because of how bad Arizona could be this week.
I mean, the other thing with that too is, do they just not give a shit and just hand the ball to James Conner the entire game?
It could certainly be a volume play.
I would go
if Michael Thomas plays, which it looks like he's going to, I'm going to start him. I want, and we'll get to it here in the next segment, I want nothing to do with James Conner.
Yeah, same.
This week. Nothing.
How about the entire season? Michael Thomas is playing Tennessee's defense, which if you haven't been watching the show at all for the last, I don't know, how long have we on? 7 years? Tennessee hasn't improved their defense, and I've been shitting on them ever since. They're a bottom 5 defense.
There may be some more shitting on the Tampa Bay defense coming up later in the show.
Tennessee defense, sir. They're playing Tennessee this week. But we can also shit on Tampa's defense because their secondary has also been ranked towards the bottom of the NFL pretty much every year over the last 5 seasons. Michael Thomas is the guy. James Conner.
Yeah, go with MT.
James Conner. I mean, even if it was a decent matchup, which it is not, it's a very bad matchup for him. Still tough. Michael Thomas is a real good matchup. Cade, trade question. Saquon for Pollard and Rachaad White.
I'm keeping Saquon.
I would also probably keep Saquon because to me, you're trading one guy you're trading for 2 guys that are going to give you the production of one guy.
Yeah.
So
I would need to know who you would have to cut for this 2-for-1. I like Pollard clearly more than these two do. It's a little bit closer for me, but I don't know if the guy you're cutting makes this worth it because that's always a part of a trade like this.
I like Pollard as well.
Way out on Rachaad White. So,
but Josh hates Rachaad White, so this was never. Rachaad White is the guy you're cutting in this trade for Josh.
Yeah, I'm not against Tony Pollard, but I'm just guessing because again, I know how I draft and how everybody else drafts. Pollard's probably trotting in as your RB1. I don't like that. If Pollard was going to fall to me to be an RB2, I would have been okay with that. I would have drafted him as my RB2. I just think his efficiency is going to go down this year. But I'm not against Pollard. I just think you're trading one guy who's going to give you the production of both of those guys.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. That's all. So, but it is an interesting question. Who is he dropping? So, all right. Now to my favorite part, because now we get to just talk bad about people and teams, and this is great.
The most negative man in the business, everybody.
Well, I don't know about that.
I'm pretty sure you are.
What business specifically? Because I feel like there's a lot bigger names that are a little more negative than I am. You know,
the club fantasy business.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm like the devil. What do you mean? All right. Josh, James Conner outside the top 24 in Washington, as we talked about. Deshaun Watson outside the top 15 at home against Cincinnati. Dallas Goedert outside the top 10 in New England. Who would you like to chat about? I mean, we talked about Conner. I don't know if there's anybody else you'd like to kind of emphasize.
I mean, I'll touch on Deshaun Watson just because everybody seems to be all in on him being a top 10, top 12 quarterback this year. He ended up inside my top 12. I didn't love it when I did my projections, but when you just looking at how he ended last season, the perceived change in offensive structure this year, that they're going to spread the ball out more, which I'm still not buying until I see it. But Cincy's defense is pretty good. Like they get Awuzie back, which is going to only strengthen their secondary. And Watson looked like dog shit to end last year, and he really didn't look that great this preseason either.
But did you see the video they posted of him throwing that 5-yard dot walking off the practice field?
Oh, man.
Into the net. Did you see that?
That just tightens my pants, let me tell you.
Yeah.
No,
I'm just, hey, loosen the belt. That's all I'm saying. All right.
I'm not buying it. I know this game. I have a feeling this game is going to be probably very low scoring, with Joe Burrow having missed a lot of the preseason, supposedly being good to go. There's a lot to like on Cleveland's defense. There's a lot to like on Cincy's defense. They always seem to play each other tough. It would not surprise me if this game was like 15-12.
To speak on Josh's thing about defense, they do get Cheeto back. I'm not. Mike Hilton is not good. Let's get that out there. The nickelback is terrible. Cam Taylor-Britt flashed a couple times last year.
I was going to say, young kid.
Yeah, young. We don't know. It's his second year. I'm not a big fan of him. Dax Hill has yet to show anything. He was their first-round pick last year, basically to replace Jesse Bates. And then Nick Scott over from the Rams. I don't love Nick Scott. He's okay. Their front seven.
I was going to say they have a solid front seven that can help. So yeah.
Logan Wilson is probably behind Fred Warner, the best coverage.
And they added Miles Murphy in the draft, right?
Yep.
They did add Miles Murphy.
And that was just a steal at the end of that draft.
Ironically listed third on the depth chart at left defensive end. So he will probably come in on pass rushing downs, but here's the thing. He's not playing over Trey Hendrickson or Sam Hubbard. It's not.
But those guys can't be playing 95% of the snaps. That's what you say.
This gives them the ability to get those off the field in certain situations. So.
And they also drafted him. Trey Hendrickson is the last year of his deal. They're not going to re-sign Henderson. They're going to play Miles Murphy in that position next year, or they'll swap Sam Hubbard to that side, move Murphy up on number 1 to left defensive end. So they drafted him to replace Trey Hendrickson. And also another one rule is you can't have too many pass rushers in the NFL. Exactly. So take one in the first round, take the best guy available, especially that late in the draft in the first round. They have a good defense. DJ Reader and BJ Hill, very good on the inside. When DJ Reader, who am I thinking of? Is it DJ Reader? Yeah, when DJ Reader is in the game for the Bengals, they're a top 10 run defense in the NFL.
I was going to say, you pulled this stat out it might have been last year or a few years ago, but when he plays, their run defense
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now, it's Nick Chubb, so I don't think it matters this week, but when DJ Reader is in the game, they're a top 10 run defense in the NFL on average.
Chubb might only get 4.9 yards per carry.
Yeah, exactly. When Reader doesn't play, I believe they are bottom 12. So their run defense is much better when DJ Reader is in the game at nose tackle. All right, Ryan, before we get to you, would you take Michael Thomas over Deebo Samuel?
I'm guessing this is start sit, not trade, because I'd probably still hold Deebo in a trade. Start sit.
They both have good matchups. Pittsburgh's defense isn't great, but I always lean on the side of even if Pittsburgh's defense isn't great, it's still Pittsburgh, and there's something about them, especially when are they at home? I think they're at home.
Pittsburgh's at home.
Yeah, I would go Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is in the dome.
Yeah, and it's if Michael Thomas was playing a challenging defense, you could maybe sway me, but I'm not scared of Tennessee. Yeah, give me MT in this one.
Michael
Thomas, yeah. Deebo, again, has a good matchup. I always I don't know why. It's Pittsburgh at home. There's just something. Again, it's
You're
like
not wrong.
There's just teams, no matter how bad they are, you're just worried about the defense or how they play at home. I'll say this to the end of the time. I don't care how bad the Red Sox are. If they sneak into the playoffs, they're winning every game at Fenway because you're not even worried about them. And there's just certain teams that you just know, and you're not worried about that. So yes, Deebo has a good matchup. Just beware this week. There's always that little inkling that Pittsburgh could pull it out. Harris got Chase, Olave, Keenan Allen, and Godwin. Should he trade Godwin for J.K. Dobbins? I mean, he's got 3 solid receivers, potentially shore up running backs, but
this is what I talked about. If you need a running back this week, it's probably still worth it to get this first week 1 dub. I don't hate the trade. I hate Dobbins, plain and simple. I don't think he stays healthy. I'm not completely bought in that. Like I saw an article yesterday where like this backfield is his. I don't think Gus Edwards is just going to go away either. I'm not saying he's going to completely.
Gus Edwards is pretty good.
Yeah. And so I'm not sold on Dobbins over the season. However, if you want to buy a week 1 win, go get 30 points from J.K. Dobbins in week 1.
Yeah. Right. I'm assuming he went Chase, Olave, Keenan Allen. That's my assumption. I don't know the league, but I imagine it was 1, 2, 3.
Olave could have been 3, Allen 4, so he may have a running back in the middle there. So.
Potentially. I saw Chris Olave go a lot in like the late second round. So.
Yeah, he's been moving.
Yep.
Here's what I will say on this subject. You can find pop wide receivers.
Yep.
You can't find a pop running back.
You can't find
it's very difficult. Yeah, you can't find a starting running back.
You can't find a running back, actually.
And especially when you're giving up a wide receiver with a very shitty quarterback situation, where you're never going to feel comfortable starting said wide receiver, especially when you have Chase Olave and Keenan Allen ahead of them. Go get J.K. Dobbins in this.
And that's fair. Okay, so you almost lost me, but you're absolutely right. You're never going to start Godwin over these 3 ever. But I have this feeling this dude could see 140 targets this year when Baker Mayfield just is panicking.
Okay. Well, then I'll throw this out there. Deontay Johnson had 140 plus targets last year. Did you ever feel comfortable starting him?
I mean, I did.
Never. Not even for a second.
I wasn't
You're basically looking at 2022 Deontay Johnson with Chris Godwin this year.
So Josh, I promise you that was the comparison I was going to make.
Obviously.
I mean, that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
140
because
targets,
there's no way on God's green earth that you will have me buying into the idea that Baker Mayfield is going to turn Chris Godwin and Mike Evans into top 24 wide receivers in fantasy this year.
What do you mean?
Ain't happening.
But
he's got that dog in him.
His first.
He's got that dog in him. What do you mean? What do you mean? You got that dog in him. Come on. Dude, he's been taking notes from Shador Sanders. He's just like, what do I got to do to be that guy?
It's like, I'm a dog.
Those notes aren't going to matter when he doesn't have a healthy offensive lineman.
No offensive lineman.
He's fine.
Your deep wide receiver is already hurt. Doesn't
not
happy with this
even an
contract.
issue. Not even an issue. Calm down. It's fine. Kirk Cousins or Anthony Richardson, ironically, was faced with this decision in a draft.
Yeah.
I ended up going Anthony Richardson solely based on the fact he could probably run for 1,000 yards this year.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he can throw. So I'm going Anthony Richardson solely because there's a good chance he goes over 100 yards this week.
Yeah. I'm going to go Cousins against Tampa Bay, though.
Yeah. If we're asking for week 1, the answer is Kirk Cousins. For the whole season, I'm fine betting on Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
But this is that instance where when you take an Anthony Richardson in your draft, you want to kind of bookend him with a somewhat decent, a quarterback with a floor, and that's Kirk Cousins. This week, let's see how Anthony Richardson does. That's kind of what I want to see first. I want to see him.
He's got a tough test week 1. I
was going to say, with with one proven wide receiver who was mediocre last year and nothing behind him in the backfield. It's going to be
potentially Zach Moss.
Broken arm Zach Moss.
You mean
Jackson,
Utah
baby.
Ute Zach Moss?
I mean, let's be clear here, though. Is Anthony Richardson not in just the exact same position that Justin Fields was in last year?
100%. 100%.
But and how many weeks did it take Justin Fields to get going?
Shut up. I need Anthony
Take
Richardson.
him
One
out.
good
I don't
week.
remember.
Shut up.
Yeah, it was about 4 or 5 weeks in.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I mean, he beat the Niners in week 1 in that hurricane. So.
You want to know why? Running back.
Pretty sure Indy's in a dome, so
no,
there's
no,
going to be no slip
no.
and slide on that
Nope,
field.
they're gonna open the doors and open the dome monsoon immediately, and they have to keep it like that for the whole game.
Yeah, they're famous.
They can't change it. So Anthony Richardson, it's going to be Anthony Richardson 150 yards on the ground, Trevor Lawrence 120. There you go. So excited.
I hope not.
All right, I'll get to these other ones here. I just want to get to those ones that came in before we go to Ryan's downsides. Joe Burrow outside the top 10. You already kind of talked about it with the thinking it'd be a low score game. Yep. Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook outside the top 20 in the no touchdown special goes to the greatest name in the NFL, Chigoziem Okonkwo.
I'm doing this every week too, so I'm going to track both of these. So
I'm so excited for you to go absolutely goose egg the entire season.
For 36.
Honestly, I think he's going to have a much better chance of hitting on the 0 touchdowns than the 2 touchdown weeks.
Remember last year when he called 4 tight ends to not even have a reception?
No.
They both were like top 3 tight ends.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. I don't. Oh, okay. I don't remember this. I remember when I was calling.
You literally also on the upsides too.
Yeah.
You said
I started
top 5 tight end. They didn't get a target. So I want to know Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook though outside of the top 20. Obviously, split backfield. Breece Hall coming off an injury. Dalvin Cook learning a new system.
I don't think I need to go into much more, but I'll throw in the Bills only allowed 18 points per game to running backs last year. So when you split that between 2 hurt guys, that's 9 points each. You're not going to be very happy about starting those guys. Now, the biggest worry for me to be wrong here is that Breece Hall is healthier than I thought, because I am legitimately concerned. Dalvin Cook just got into practice like a few days ago with his shoulder injury. He is the bigger concern here. I know everyone's worried about Hall and the ACL, but we've seen people bounce back from that. So the biggest threat to this being wrong is that Dalvin Cook isn't ready and Breece Hall is, because then we could see Hall get all 18 of those points and all of a sudden he's a top 10 running back. That's the largest concern to this being wrong. If they are going to split time between 2 hobbled guys against a still good Buffalo defense, I'm not worried about these running backs. I wouldn't start either one this week.
I'm a little surprised that the 18 points per game for Buffalo allowed. I didn't think their run defense was anything great last year for fantasy purposes. Obviously seems pretty good, but it was meh. They keep Matt Milano. They lose Tremaine Edmonds, which he was a very good run stuffing guy. So their second level isn't as strong this year. In a lot of their edge guys are not run stuffing guys at all. No. They are pass rushers. So Ed Oliver really
and Hall have the speed to hit the edges.
Oh yeah. But also, I mean, Gregory Rousseau is 6'6" and
he's got a good wingspan.
Yeah, he's got a great wingspan. And Leonard Floyd is also quick. One of his things, if he's not rushing the passer, he is very good at containing the edge, or if not, he's able to at least run him down, only push him out of bounds for 1 or 2 yards. Biggest thing, Jordan Poyer, if he comes up into the box, I mean, that's your best line.
Well, and they brought in Taylor Rapp from Buffalo or from St. Louis, so they can actually cycle their safeties, play them a little bit closer. Yeah, what did I say?
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Probably.
Good Lord, I am old.
Well, and that's the
fucking
thing
Rams is what I was trying to say.
And that's the thing, is they currently only have, if they're gonna run, they could legitimately run a quarter package, or a dime package, and trot out your nickel corner and then put Taylor Rapp in the box. They could also even put Jordan Poyer there because Poyer's getting older.
That's kind of what I was thinking, is moving Poyer up and Rapp back. Yeah. So,
yep. All right, before I get into my downsides, King, I think Oahu, half PPR start this week. Jamaal Williams against the Titans, or Monty against the Chiefs. So you're looking at the guy who took over for Jamaal Williams, who had a career year. Both presumably pretty good matchups. both presumably probably splitting time in their backfields, but both probably the number one guys on the goal line when they get there. So who are you liking, Jamaal Williams or David Montgomery, Josh?
Oh, this is Montgomery. It's not even a question to me.
Okay, Ryan?
Love both, but I am not sitting Monty against the Chiefs. The only way Detroit has a chance in this game is keeping the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands. We could see 20 carries from David Montgomery pretty easily.
Yeah, and Jamaal Williams is going to run right into Jeffrey Simmons. And David Montgomery, without Chris Jones there, has free reign, baby.
Motherfucking Jeffrey Simmons. Dog. Love Jeffrey Simmons.
Got that dog in him.
He got that dog in him. He got that dog in him. Yeah, Jamaal Williams matchup is very enticing. Outside of Jeffrey Simmons, nobody, not even a lick of shit on that defense could stop Jamaal Williams. But no Chris Jones. Yes, Nick Bolton is a worry, but the Lions have a top 5 offensive line, if not the best offensive line in the NFL, arguably. And like Ryan said, they got to keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands. Go with David Montgomery, and he will still also have his opportunity out of the backfield as well to catch some passes. And if any indication last year, Detroit's really good at getting inside the 5-yard line and not scoring. So they will just hand the ball off. So that's perfect. They're really good.
I was like, what are you talking about? But you mean like not scoring?
They're really good at getting inside the 5, but not scoring.
Yeah, I was like,
on
they score very well inside the 5.
Yeah,
but yes,
they're very well inside the 5. But yeah, no, it was. I didn't know how to word it, but you got where I was going.
Yes, we got there in the end.
Chaz Money Poker Flex Spot, Darren Waller, Javonte Williams, or Deon Jackson. What a whirlwind of names right there. Darren Waller?
You cannot bench Darren Waller at all.
Like that's Darren Waller, right? Like I'm not trying to second guess anything here, but Darren Waller.
Yeah, don't get cute with this one. This is Darren
First of
Waller.
all, who is your starting tight end? Right? I'm guessing it's got to be Andrews because you're not asking over Kelsey right now because you're likely to bench Kelsey and then just start Waller. I'm guessing you must have Andrews if you're considering starting another tight end over Waller.
Yeah, and a flex.
Yeah.
If Javonte Williams was healthy, I mean, right there. Javonte Williams, I love the matchup against Vegas this week. They don't really ever run stuff for outside of Divine Diablo, and he's second level. So, but yeah, Darren Waller. Higbee, Dalton, Kincaid, Ryan.
I'm not playing games with rookie tight ends. Plus, it's PPR, and Tyler Higbee is the only wide receiver that Matt Stafford actually knows the name of. Give me Tyler Higbee.
Tutu Atwell, bitch. Josh.
Yeah, this is Higbee. I don't love it just because last year was like the least sexy 100 target season I've ever seen in my life. But again, it just boils down to a rookie against a really good defense. Let me see it first. Give me Higbee, especially with Cooper Kupp out.
All right, Mike. So don't listen to me, but just in case this is right, Dalton Kincaid. Just in case this is right.
Fucking Joe.
Just in case this is right. Don't listen to me, but just in case it's right, Dalton Kincaid. Bookmark it. Dalton Kincaid. All right? Dalton Kincaid. I just, it's so like the vanilla of vanilla, Tyler Higbee.
Yes.
Just vanilla.
Not even Tahitian vanilla. Just vanilla.
No. Like New York street cart vanilla. Terrible.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. All right.
I've been to New York many times. I don't remember vanilla on the street cart.
I don't know. There's an ice cream place up here. There's an ice cream place up here that makes a bunch of different vanillas. Vanilla bean, French vanilla, all these things. And one of them is vanilla. New York vanilla.
Interesting. I had no idea.
Hey, the more you know, right?
I love it. This is such a fucking learning experience.
Yeah, it really is. My picks. Rhamondre Stevenson outside of the top 10 against the Philadelphia Eagles.
I was saddened and shocked to see that from you, Joe Zollo.
You shocked? Have you seen who we are as a team? I was betting
I didn't think you were going to go at him.
I was betting the Patriots as a team will have under 150 yards total offense. We suck. Okay. Colts running backs combined for less than 65 yards rushing against Jacksonville. You want to know why? And all the rushing yards. And they suck. So it's twofer. And just because I will continue my hatred of Ohio State quarterbacks, and I really do think this is a strong possibility. CJ Stroud throws 3 interceptions against Baltimore this week.
I might take the over.
Look, I was struggling with the third downside because I was looking at it, I'm like, I feel like everyone has decent matchups. And I was the first one to fill out the sheet too. I was like, okay.
You were. Let's talk about the shock of the century going in and seeing Joe's picks in first.
What's up, baby? I was struggling and I was sitting there, I'm like, I don't really know. Like, I'm not really sure. I didn't feel like there was like one really big one that I could go after. Fuck it. CJ Stroud, 3 interceptions against Baltimore. Feel really good. But Rhamondre Stevenson, obviously the big one. The 2 leagues I have him in, I'm sitting him. And I drafted him in the second round. I'm sitting Rhamondre Stevenson because I truly believe that New England gets ass pounded this week by the Eagles. It shouldn't even be close. If the Eagles allow a true touchdown to the Patriots, they should consider the game a loss. That is how bad this offense is.
Okay, Joe.
We don't have a backup quarterback.
So Joe,
we don't have a running back. We also don't have a left tackle.
So are you saying Rhamondre Stevenson for the season could end up being a bust? Like, you think your offense is that bad? Okay. You just think this Eagles defense just scares you a little bit.
Ryan, there's one good player on this offense, and it's Rhamondre Stevenson.
Well, that's fair, but you're sitting here telling me how your offense isn't going to get 150 fucking yards, and if you get a touchdown, that's a win for the week. That doesn't speak a lot of confidence into Rhamondre Stevenson.
Facts.
What were the 2 defenses that we said you could start every week without issue? San Francisco, probably Philly.
Yeah. That's fair. I'm just making sure.
Rhamondre Stevenson against the fucking Dolphins, 55 points. Not even worried.
I've drunk a lot of the Joe Zollo Kool-Aid, and I have a lot of Rhamondre Stevenson in my life, and now you have me very worried.
As you very well should. Okay, as you very well should. This week, sit him because it's not going to be pretty.
Well, let me throw this at you. Same game. DeAndre Swift over Rhamondre in my 32-team league.
No, that's a split backfield at that point.
Okay.
You just at that point, that's straight volume. Rhamondre Stevenson might have 55 yards. Okay. But there's also
not that bad.
The thing that could bite me in the ass here is I don't know how Bill O'Brien's going to operate his offense. But from what I know, he doesn't like to dink and dunk. That's from what I know to running backs. He's not the biggest fan of dinking and dunking. So that could hurt Stevenson. But if Bill basically says this guy's your best receiver on the team, which he is, that's the thing that could bite me in the ass here. Is Rhamondre Stevenson could easily have 8 receptions out of the backfield. That's the thing that could bite me in the ass. Outside of that, he's probably under 60 yards on the ground, unless he miraculously breaks one. I just don't feel very good about this offensive line. They're going to have to run in between the guards. That's where the strength is on this offense, is in between the guards. Their tackles are trash.
Yeah.
So they need to run in between the guards. And I don't feel confident on their interior matchup compared against Philly. I think Philly wins that matchup.
Cox, Milton Williams, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis, you could have just said and be done with.
Yeah, I think overall Philly is a better matchup in between the guards. The only thing that is keeping Stevenson out there is they might spread him wide like they did with James White and keep Zeke in the backfield for pass protection, which is what they did previously. Is they would spread White out wide and they would keep a guy like Brandon Bolden or somebody else in tight to protect the quarterback. Stevenson could be that guy, and he could get a good matchup against the safety or a linebacker if he spreads out wide.
And we saw how great Ezekiel Elliott was at blocking on his last play as a Cowboy, so we know it's going to work out great.
Yes, sir. But yeah, I just beware with Rhamondre Stevenson. That is why he's on here, is because I was so fucking high on him, and if I'm putting him there and I'm sitting him in both of my leagues that I have him, don't play him. Okay, stream of the weeks. Ryan, go for it.
Week 1 streams of the week, all players available in more than 50% of ESPN leagues, and I'm going to drop the full article on this tomorrow. Told you we were going to pick on the Tennessee defense. I'm going to start with Derek Carr. Titans gave up the 4th most points to fantasy quarterbacks last year, and Derek Carr himself actually dropped 24 points in them when he was still a Raider last year. Love him this week, love his weapons, and that brings me to the tight end. It's going to be Jahan Johnson taking on the Tennessee Titans there with the New Orleans Saints. They actually gave up the 5th most points to tight ends last year, but I found this interesting. 6 touchdowns they gave up. They were all multi-touchdown games to tight ends. I might have picked the wrong guy. It might be Jahan Johnson with 2 touchdowns this week. And starting with defense, You already knew it was coming. The Washington Commanders taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona was already giving up the 10th most points to defenses last year, and they actually got worse this year. Love the Commanders defense, and those are the week 1 streams of the week.
Remember when Kevin Byard was
within a minute? I like it. Good job, Ryan.
Sorry, yeah.
I'm literally looking at the clock, counting it down.
Good job, Ryan. Yeah, woo, go Ryan.
For everybody wondering why we're happy, we're going to start turning my streams of the week into YouTube Shorts, which need to be less than a minute. So that's what I'm going for.
There we go. Kevin Byard, not good. Just a reminder.
Yeah,
just a reminder. Not good. Okay, not good. He is Duron Harmon. That's it. He's a flashier Duron Harmon. And if you don't know who Duron Harmon is, that just made my point further. There you go.
Point proven.
Point proven. My P corner, it is back. Yes, my P corner is back. Now it's the play fade corner. And I'm going to make this easy for you. This is the matchup I pick every week. It's just the Patriots, whoever they play, since I know them best. You're playing nobody and fading everybody. I cannot stress enough how much of an embarrassment this game is going to be for the Patriots organization. It is going to be so fucking bad. So bad. The only thing that could maybe make this okay is that they have a pretty good secondary this year. That's it. They can't stop the run. We barely have a pass rush. We don't have an offense. We suck against dual threat quarterbacks. I cannot stress that enough. We are Garbo against dual threat quarterback. Hell, you know what? Mac Jones might be the play because he'll have 3.5 quarters of garbage time. Mac Jones might be a top 10 quarterback this week, folks, because he'll have so much garbage time to throw the football.
The Blake Bortles playbook.
Might fucking be Matt Corral out there later on. Who knows?
Love it.
God, fucking
won't be Bailey Zappi.
Practice squad. You want to know how much of a bitch the Patriots are in this whole you must have a second quarterback act, or you must have 3 quarterbacks on the roster, right? Bailey Zappi is listed as the QB2 on the roster. Matt Corral is the QB3. So in order to have 3 quarterbacks, you must have a second quarterback active.
Now they have to be on your 53 though.
Correct.
No, there's a way around it. They could activate Matt Corral and put him as the technical quarterback. So Albert Breer, or who was it? Mike Reese put it out there. The guy who covers the Patriots for ESPN. So I trust him. Unless this was debunked. Sure. But
No. So the way I heard it, and I'm gonna let you finish. The way I heard it was they have to be on the 53, but they don't count against your game day 46. So I've been confused about this when I saw all the quarterbacks cut. So please work through this because maybe this is what I'm missing.
All I know is that I read it and said they could keep Zappi on the practice squad and elevate Matt Corral because that is how it is on the depth chart 1, 2, 3. That's all I know. I have no idea if that could work.
Because they kept the one kid too. Is it Cunningham? Malik Cunningham? They put
Malik
him on
Cunningham
the
is
practice
also
squad
on the practice squad. Yeah. God, I'd rather him than Mac Jones at this point. I just need something interesting. I just want something interesting to watch. All right. Talking props real quick. Josh says J.K. Dobbins higher than 55.5 rushing yards. Aforementioned, obviously. Ryan, you have Deontay Johnson over 4.5 receptions. As good as San Francisco's defense is, their weak point are corners. They don't have a great one.
We talked about this last year. They gave up like top 10 points to fantasy wide receivers, even though they were a great defense.
They were a great defense. They started giving up top 10 because Emmanuel Mosley went down in week 4. And after that, Talanoa Hufanga had to start playing deep safety. And that is not really where he is best. Their corners are Charvarius Ward, dog shit, Diamador Lenore, and Isaiah Oliver. Yeah. Not really good. The weak point is their secondary. The reason they are so good.
Deontay Johnson might catch 10 balls this week.
Oh, easily.
We'll not hear the end of that on Monday morning.
Let's fly through this to end the show. Elixirs, Rachaad White, Jahmyr Gibbs, Tony Pollard in a standard. Ryan.
I'm not sitting Tony Pollard, but I'm really intrigued by Jahmyr Gibbs. Not Rachaad White is the answer.
Ryan. All right, Josh.
Correct. You're sitting Rachaad White this week.
Well, he has to. Oh, he's sitting
you're
one.
sitting
Oh, thank
one.
God.
Oh, that was
perfect.
perfect.
Yeah, sit
Rachaad
Rachaad
White.
White.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, this is easy. Rachaad White. King of Wahoo, thoughts on Kyle Pitts? Accidentally drafted him over Waller. Any underrated tight ends I could look into to possibly pick off the wire?
I love that
Ryan literally just talked about one, Juwan Johnson.
Juwan Johnson, but I love that Kyle Pitts is now an accidentally picked. Like, first of all, I like Kyle Pitts this week going up against Carolina. I think you're going to be absolutely fine. I don't think you need to go out and grab anybody.
Yeah, you should be good this week. But if you really do want someone, Juwan Johnson.
Carolina's linebackers are built for pass rush. I don't think they're going to have anybody who can cover Pitts. Now, they do have a nice secondary with 3 very good safeties, so that could be interesting.
But Jeremy Chin is the best one, and he probably won't cover him. Who knows?
They're actually talking about playing Chin in the box, which lends it to yourself.
That is where he should play because he's ridiculous.
They've got
some other late round targets I would mention too. Hayden Hurst from Carolina.
Absolutely.
I think that's definitely a late round target you can look to grab. Maybe not this week, but one of either Mike Gesicki or Hunter Henry. I'm very curious to see how those two are used with the Patriots, simply because they don't have wide receivers at all. They got to throw it to somebody.
Jake Ferguson in Dallas is rostered in, I think, fewer than 5% of leagues right now.
There you go.
Guys, I'm going to take this one. Okay. I'll just take this one. Third pick in the draft. If Chase and Jamar Jefferson, what?
He's definitely going to be available.
Yeah. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. I think I'm going to go on Tyreek Hill. If you let Christian McCaffrey go after the third pick, you deserve every loss that comes to you. Christopher, I think you're new here, and I need you to know I'm very intense. Draft Christian McCaffrey. He averages 25 plus points when healthy in fantasy football. There is nobody that does that.
The answer was Travis Kelce until he could miss a month.
Fuck you, Ryan. The answer is Christian McCaffrey. No doubt.
I was gonna say either McCaffrey or Eckler, whichever one of those two you like.
McCaffrey.
I'm fine. I'm fine with Tyreek Hill if you truly feel that going wide receiver is where you want to go. You can make the case he is the wide receiver 3. That's fine. If Chase and Jefferson are gone, for me, it's running back in this instance.
Yeah. I am fine taking Chase or Justin Jefferson over a running back. Fine. I'm not that guy. I won't do it, but that's fine if you do choose that.
I say you definitely won't.
Tyreek Hill, 50% of his games are wide receiver 1. 50% of them are outside of the top 36. That's not a third overall pick. That's a late first round pick. Taysom Hill, 2+ touchdowns this week. They might be passing touchdowns.
Elixir's new to the 2-tutty special. Welcome to the team, buddy.
So Taysom Hill is now a lock for like 0 touches. He's now a lock. Sweet Teabag, thoughts on this fantasy trade? I'm in a super flex. He has Mahomes, Lawrence, and Goff. Pretty good 3-stack quarterbacks there. Traded Lawrence, Josh Jacobs, and DK Metcalf for Bijan Robinson and Tyreek Hill. You won.
I really like Lawrence in a super flex, but I don't think you lost. I think Bijan's going to eat, but I think the Tyreek Hill is what makes this trade for you. I'll give it to you with Tyreek Hill.
Hill's better than Metcalf.
And Robinson's this was my question after the fact. Is this redraft or is it dynasty? Because it's redraft, I'm a lot more comfortable with this trade.
Yeah.
Because you still do have a solid QB2 in Jared Goff. But again, I'm completely fine hoarding quarterbacks in Superflex, whether it's redraft.
I have to have a third. So I'm hoping there's somebody, Desmond Ridder or somebody out there, Sam Howell, hiding on your waivers that you can maybe go grab, because I definitely want a third with that extra roster spot you have now.
Correct.
Yep. I love it. I think you have a guy to replace Lawrence in the starting lineup, so I think you're fine. I mean, you're counting the blessings that
your starting lineup got better. That's a great point, Joe. Your starting lineup got infinitely better.
Yeah, he has Desmond
Ridder. There you go.
Yep. All right. That is all she wrote.
Week 1, baby.
Week 1, ladies and gentlemen. Outro, kick it to Josh to read off the shows/articles.
Yeah, because I know you want to do it, so that's why I figure it's just easier for me to do it.
I'll do it. You want me to do it?
Go for it.
What an organic segue.
Yeah, what an organic segue. Read directly from the show sheet. Yeah, it's like the news. Shows Don't Get Too Cute with Zach and his daughter Madison, dropping 9 a.m. Eastern every Thursday. Sneaky Flex, hosted by Kelly. And the Sneaky Girls, Rona Maisie, is back Thursday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. DFS Academy, our new DFS show with Ryan, Kelly, and Austin Amendolia, Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern. Starts a different day, is back, folks. Myself and Faith, and presumably 1 to 2 guests every single week, Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Dynasty After Party with Sicoli and Joel, Sunday nights at 7:30. And Monday's Hangxiety, our weekend recap show, Ryan and Josh, Mondays, 11 a.m. Eastern. Upcoming articles, DFS Matchup Report, Wednesday morning, Stream of the Week, dropping Thursday and Friday. A-List Cashes in session. Wow, that's a long one. Austin Amendolia dropping Friday. DFS Cash Games. Fantasy Football Diary from Rachel drops Friday night. Wide receiver matchups with Roxanne Saturday mornings. Talking props by the team dropping on Saturday, which is underdog player props. Pick 'em up. Ryan Weisse, Tuesday morning. Waivers. If that's not enough for you, go somewhere else. I don't really know what to tell you.
Follow us on YouTube.
ClubFantasyFFL.com.
On Twitter, there's going to be a lot.
ClubFantasyFFL.com. Go you. What a day.
Go us.
Happy week 1, folks.
I love it.
LFG. For Josh, Ryan, myself, you can follow Club Fantasy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Club Fantasy FFL. The URL is ClubFantasyFFL.com. Always remember, defense wins championships. Offense wins fantasy football. We will see you next week.